Yup. Okay. All right. So, how's everybody doing? I am actually recording a video. I it's on parenting. I recently got some questions just about my experiences with parenting, and I felt honored to just be like my opinion, my I don't know, my experiences are valid enough to help somebody. They are having their first kid while I got a 16-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. So yeah. So as far as the first question, what is the most challenging part of parenthood? The most challenging part of parenthood for me is probably their pain. Them being disappointed, them being hurt, them being scared. It's funny because you always hear that man, this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. Like they don't get it. Like you don't get it as a kid, but when you have your own, it can be rough. I mean, we was just at Great Wolf. We was just at Great Wolf Lodge, and my daughter was like, yeah, I want to do the wall, the rope climb and all that. So we're like 10 feet up in the air, 15 feet up in the air, and I'm like, dang, she kind of moving through it. It's kind of dope. And she like gets through this part where I guess it was just like too shaky for her, and now she's like giving me this look, and I'm like, she not gonna cry. She not gonna cry. Nah, she's crying. She's crying. Like, and so we both like 15 feet in the air. Like, it's all these people looking. Well, it feels like it's a ton of people looking. And I'm like, yo, she about to make me cry. I know we not gonna fall. I know we good. I know we safe. And I'm like, yo, I'm hurting like for her because I don't want her to deal with it. But I also know that pain builds character. It builds growth. There are times when I will make things more difficult for all three of my kids because I want them to be able to figure things out. And that can be tough. But it is a strategy. I always feel like if you deal with stuff sooner, younger, as you get older, is easier because you've felt it, you've dealt with it, you've had to handle some problem solving things. And if people are leaving, don't nobody watch me. I can't see them because the sunglasses on, but I got the sunglasses on because it's bright in here. It's just for the aesthetic of the actual like YouTube video. So the next question is, what would you do differently had you known then what you know today? For me, I think some of it is like don't take everything so serious. Like there's a lot of stuff that should be taken serious, like it's scary and everything, but more in the past like 3 years, probably since COVID and we were spending so much time together, it was just like, man, things can be fun. Like you can still teach your lessons, you can still work through things, grow through things, but we can do it with a smile on our face. Everything doesn't have to be a fight. The other thing that I would have done differently is try to understand everyone better, everyone in the house better, because you can react, like you can react bad because of how you're feeling. But if you took the time to understand, like, oh, they're hungry, oh, they're sleepy, oh, like everything isn't necessarily an attack on you, is not something that you should take personal. And kids are gonna keep it a stack a lot of time, like until they know to sugarcoat stuff, until they know to like, I made someone sad by telling them the truth. They gonna tell you the truth, and so you shouldn't hold grudges against your children. And I know they get older and then they have their own stuff, but there's a lot of innocence when they're young, and so holding grudges, scratch that. And I had one other thing, and it'll probably come back to me in a little bit. So the next question is, what part of parenthood was the easiest to adapt to? Probably staying home. Probably being at the crib. I'm a homebody. I love being at the crib. I usually do not like being outside of the house if I'm not being paid for it. I enjoy the gym, hooping. I will go to the school, do stuff with the kids and everything, but if I can do it at home, I would much rather do it at home than being out. And I know there's a lot of people that, and probably more men than women, that deal with the feeling of, dang, like I can't be out. I can't go bowling, or I can't golf, or I can't hit the bar, or like whatever the case. Like me, I've never really been into that kind of thing. So it's just like, okay, whatever. Like I'm just going to be at the crib. Like I've perfected the art of playing video games while holding a baby. I I've learned, I knew how to cook young, being the oldest of a bunch of siblings. So like I don't mind being at the crib. I don't mind really saving money, not eating out, because when it's just two people, it's like, oh, this would be like $22 meal, something like that, fast food wise. I'm dropping like 50, almost $60 at Chick-fil-A now. I'm like, we do a Raising Cane's. I mean, shoot, like even if you hit McDonald's, like my kids are getting big. Like I have kids bigger than me, and so I don't even get milkshakes. Can I get a milkshake? I'm like, how? Your voice that deep, you shouldn't have to ask for permission. You gotta go make you some money. So like it can get pricey when it comes to eating out. So yes, staying in the crib was the easiest thing that I've had to do. Did my upbringing dictate how I raise my children? Yeah, definitely. There's some stuff that I really love and respect about how I was brought up. And like different things that my parents did. There's some things that I don't know how they did. Like still. Then there's some things where I'm like, oh, I'd never do that. Like that's not what you should be doing. So I keep a lot of that stuff like in my head when dealing with experiences, dealing with spending money, dealing with religion, dealing with sports. I mean everything really. Like I got beat. I got beat. My oldest, he done caught some hands a little bit, and probably well deserved. But my younger two, I just gotta give them a look. I just gotta raise my hand just an inch, and it's like, okay, yeah. Well, I'll chill. So as far as religion, like I couldn't stand church. Like I would be there, and as I got older, I definitely learned from it. But I definitely felt more of a negative vibe from the people that were in the church. And so, once I had the opportunity, like, to decide, like, man, am I going to go or am I not going to go? I'm like, man, I don't want to feel that way. Like, I don't feel like you can treat people a certain way just because you've been going to a building for longer, the seniority part of things. So I want them to have a sense of religion because I have a sense, like, I believe in God. Like, there's a ton of things that my lifestyle being in the church young, is definitely influenced, and I feel like I do make pretty good decisions from that, but I don't feel like you have to go to church to be able to make good decisions, things like that. As far as I could go on that topic for days, as far as how my upbringing dictated things. Like I also use a lot of other examples too. Like I'll look and I see a lot of parents, they're like, oh, I want to give my kid all the stuff that I didn't have, but they're being materialistic. Like they're talking about the video games, they're talking about the shoes, they're talking about things I feel like don't necessarily matter. And I guess my opinion isn't golden, but I want to give my kids the experiences I didn't have. I want to give them the knowledge that I didn't have. I feel like I'm trying to give them the head start that they hold up. I could not I know I looked crazy a second ago. I could not see what ring light is powerful. I don't know where I was at, but I was saying I was saying that I will see that people are giving their kids materialistic things, and I want to give them the head start that I feel like I didn't have. There's things that I know now that I wish I knew like 25 years ago, 10 years ago, like when I was 25. And I don't know, I feel like things would be different, but I also think that things are working out really well right now. So I guess I can't complain too much. The biggest misconception in regards to becoming parent. What is the biggest misconception in regards to becoming parents? I'm not sure. I think people do need to know that every situation is different. Like, even kids that come from the same two people, the situation is different. I don't know if that's talked about enough, because I know there's like parenting book, there's like different things that is like, this is how it is, this is how you handle it. And it's like, no, between the siblings, my children working in public school system, like every situation is different. I don't really feel like there is like one thing that's gonna work. There's stuff that works on, a wide variety of people, but I can't talk to all my children the same. My children don't handle certain circumstances the same. I have one that it don't seem like anything will bother them. Then I got one that's like, oh, they gonna go off in a sec. Like, you gotta fall back, you gotta chill. So it's like, maybe I'll come back to that biggest misconception, but I don't really have an answer for that. Is it challenging finding balance between focusing on your children and your spouse? Yeah. I mean, partially because me and my wife have a ton of goals. So we will push our relationship like way to the back. I mean, I feel like we both have that mutual, man, I see you, like, you doing your thing, I love you, I miss you. And then, at some point, there's nights where we get to just chill. But we will put we will put our children first. There's times when we want to chill, but if my son wants to go to the court, I gotta go to the court. If my daughter, wants to ride the bike, I gotta do that. So I think between like the jobs, the actual like care for them, like our kids, our two youngest is like, they're stuck to us. They're like, oh, we're best friends. My daughter's making Roblox videos. One of us is right there. My other son, he's playing not Roblox, but Fortnite. He's playing Fortnite, and he's got one of us playing. Like, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. He's charging up the Switch. He's doing updates on the PS4. He made sure the PS5 controllers was charged. Like, he's like, nah, y'all don't have anything booked today? We all on it. We all playing. We all like, and it's like, yo, we're playing Fortnite with 10-year-olds over, spending our Saturday, hanging with each other, or even hanging out. So yes, it's definitely it's definitely a challenge. I mean, because I feel like it's a challenge because we want to do a good job. We feel like the more we can pour into our kids over social media, over who they're playing with online. I mean, shoot, we be out in the neighborhood. These kids nowadays are different. I'm outside and they like, oh, all right, let's play lockdown. I'm like, all right, what's up? What's lockdown? So they are acting out a lockdown at school. They were arguing over who's going to be the school shooter. I was like, huh? Who? What? Y'all want to shoot the school? And they're like, it's like casual. It's not like a thing. It's not like a scary thing. It was weird to me. And I don't necessarily know, like, I don't want my kids to be dumb sheltered, but I also like, I don't know how much I want them around stuff like that. And so I keep them close. I keep like to around. I said all that to basically say, yes, we put the kids way in front of us because we feel like them being stronger, smarter, whatever, is better than us just letting them do them, and we enjoy our relationship. I feel like we're gonna be together for a long time. So we'll be able to enjoy each other once they're well off. Like, we gonna put a lot into them until they can stand on their own too. Let's see. Have you or your spouse ever had to compromise when it came to raising kids? Definitely. I feel like I care about stuff a lot less than she does. I feel like I feel like she's more stern on stuff. So where I'm like, it may not be that big of a deal, or at least I feel that way. I probably don't even voice it that much. But I feel like, all right. So one example is like bedtime. Like, I'm like, dang, they kind of old to be going to bed at 6:30. No, I'm just kidding. Like, not that early. But sometimes I'm like, man, when I was that age, I could go to bed later and still be good. The one thing that I have noticed, the one thing I have recognized is that this bedtime we have set is part of his routine. And one thing about some kids is that they are going to be like stuck in their routine. If you break that routine, stuff is going to be jacked up. So, we try to move the bedtime and it's like, oh, it's only 30 minutes or whatever. Like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Not that this kid is like messing up in school or whatever, but it's like their whole demeanor is different. Like, they different on, the electronics. And it's just like, yo, nah. Like, we just be the same perfect kid like you were. Just stay up a little later. And it changes. It can change things when you go outside that routine. So the question is the compromise. When we I think handling discipline, sometimes there has to be a compromise. But that's also something. So if we're talking, you never had children before. That's something that y'all should communicate about. A lot of the stuff you should be communicating about. The how you guys plan to spend the finances. I don't think that a baby needs every pair of dope shoe that drops or whatever, but some people are like, nah, my kid's gonna be fresh. So there's gonna have to be those conversations, because you're not gonna have to you're not gonna be able to have things go your way all the time when it comes to this parenting stuff. And I honestly think if you care about the other parent, you should want to meet them. You should want to meet them. I feel like it makes the parenting easier when you understand that there's a compromise. As parent, how important is it spending time with your children individually? That is a good question. I do believe that it's really important. I think you should go and see how they are in multiple different instances. Around other people, around their siblings, just one-on-one time. I also think that it helps as far as the bond goes. If you're giving time to one, the other kid's going to see it. So they're going to be like, yo, what is going on? Outside of that, though, I think it makes you a better parent if you are, learning them. Like, you should always want to get to know them. You're going to waste so much time and energy if you don't know them. Like, if you don't understand what makes them tick. Like, I'm still like figuring a lot of it out. That might be the most challenging part of parenthood. Like, it's never ending. Like, you're in a repetitive cycle. And honestly, I think a lot of parents, they was looking forward to 18 coming up, and these kids, like, at 18, you still a kid. I was just thinking about being 21. Like, 15 years ago when I was 21, I did not know anything, and I had a child. Like, it's really crazy. Like, you like always trying to figure something out. So I just like really went out of order and circled back to the challenging part of parenthood. But it's that never ending thing, man. Like, when they get off the bus every single day, we don't know what is getting off the bus with them. We don't know if something happened on a bus. We don't know. I mean, it could have been a perfect day. Like, it's it's dope to spend time with your kids individually, because you also want to know that school aspect too. Like, me and my daughter, I feel like we have a little girl talk. Like, I have to know, like, what's going on. I need to feel, I don't know. Like, I feel like I was just in school a little bit ago, and one, I enjoy it, but two, it helps me know what's going on in her life. I feel like she'll be more comfortable with me because we've had these talks her whole life. I feel like I still want to talk more about that. Spending time with your kids individually. My oldest, he's taller than me, so we have fun basketball games. A lot of stuff that used to work don't work no more, and that too is like a dope part of parenting where it's like I have this bond with him. Like I don't shoot. I be at different courts. I don't see father son matchup. Like I don't see it. So I really do think he's going to have a dope memory of his father that a lot of people don't get. Like I play with my dad a little bit, but it was never how me and my son have it. So I think you should have a bond with all of your kids. I feel like you should have that inside joke, that sense of humor, that even like that road trip, that event that y'all went on. It's super important to spend time individually with your children. How often do your kids talk or visit their grandparents? My side, there's distance, so